Good morning, everybody. Welcome to September. So, this morning, a few facts about September. In 1752, pardon me, in 1752, the British Empire skipped 11 days of September between the 2nd and the 14th, when the British Empire changed from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar. The Anglo-Saxons called September Gerstmonth, which translates into barley month. And then they changed it to Hairfest month, which translates into harvest month, and our modern day usage of the word harvest originates from this name. September actually comes from the Latin for seven, as in the early Roman calendar it was the 7th month. There's been some casualties in September. The 1st of September 1939, I'm sure we're all aware, Hitler invaded Poland, starting World War II. And on the 11th of September 2001, the world changed forever with a terrorist attack when 2 planes flew into the World Trade Center, which I'm sure we can all remember. However, today is National Day for 2 things. Firstly, according to my local radio, because I'm not sure of its authenticity, it's Pepperoni Pizza Day. Secondly,
yay,
it's National Fitness Day to help work off the pepperoni pizza. And on that, I'd like to remind everyone that our Sarah and Tom are doing the New York Marathon it's about November. 3 weeks away, I think now.
November it is.
November.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bit longer then.
Beginning of November.
So they've got a bit longer to train.
Yeah.
But, I'm sure while they're in New York, they'll get pizza as well. And Sam's going to put a just giving link in the chat, I believe. Is that right, Sam?
I am. I'm just doing it now. So everyone go visit their page.
We've had a lot of good mornings in the chat, so thank you for that. And also, I'd like to say before we actually start and go to a speaker, some ambassadors were at Accountex yesterday and said it was lovely to meet some of you on the stand. So thank you for those.
Nice to see everybody.
Were there, and thank you for those that went to the stand. And then I'm going to move very swiftly on this morning to Joanne Chapman. Are you there, Jo?
I am. Hi.
Hi, good morning. So
good morning.
Joanne is a commercial broker and she's been recommended by an existing partner of the IAB, Company Protection. And this morning, I believe she can provide support. She's going to discuss how she can provide support to members for their clients' business finance needs. And hopefully we will all gain a better understanding as to what finance options are available to their clients and how her services can help our clients achieve their goals, improve cash flow and growth objectives. Good morning, Jo, is that right?
Yeah, good morning. Hiya.
Excellent. I think you should be able to share your screen.
Let me you just have to bear with me. Hopefully I won't have to go and run and get Matthew. Right, so if I share and then audience, share. Can you see that where it just says cash flow is king?
I can. Cash flow is king, the importance of business funding.
Excellent, okay, perfect. So I'll get moving on this then. So morning everybody, and thanks for joining on this webinar today. What I wanted to do today is explain what I offer and how I can help you. But the main thing I want to get across is how helping your client to access the funding they need is a vital tool for bookkeepers. So a little bit about me. My name's Joanne Chapman. I live in Solihull with my husband and kids. As just explained, I'm a commercial broker. I'm working under B2B finance, and that means we can help bookkeepers and businesses access the cash they need at different stages of their life cycle. That could be for cash flow purposes to fund expansion, to buy premises, equipment, fund projects, pay for research and development, or even finance marketing campaigns. Whatever it is, it's my job to help businesses access the cash they need to achieve their goals and stay afloat. So these days, what we're finding is the bookkeepers are seen more as business advisors. And so most businesses do have a close relationship with their bookkeeper, and in turn, they turn to them for guidance, advice, and other professional services beyond bookkeeping and solutions to the business. The modern bookkeeper needs to have access to a range of value-added products and services to help their clients in their time of need. In the current climate, it's all about adding value, delivering services that make a real difference and standing out from the competition. So being able to offer your clients access to funding at crucial stages of their business life cycle adds real value to your offering and makes your life even better. So we all know cash is king, cash flow. This isn't just a saying, it is the lifeblood of any business. So most businesses will need some sort of funding at some stage to help them grow and expand, employ staff, buy premises, restructure, purchase new equipment, vehicles or machinery, pay for marketing, advertising campaigns, or cover short-term debts, pay suppliers, or access funds from unpaid invoices. So as a bookkeeper, if you can not only identify where your client needs such funding, but also helping them gain access, you'll be adding tremendous value. So how many of your clients do have cash flow issues? And how much of your time is spent helping business owners to chase unpaid invoices or try and manage their cash flow? I imagine a large number of your clients will have some form of funding which they need or cash flow issue on a regular basis. Many business owners and bookkeepers aren't fully aware of the range of funding options available or the positive effects of accessing the right type of funding at the right time. The impact that well-timed funding can have on a long-term success of a business is almost imperative. So why don't businesses access funding? So there's countless reasons why they don't, and some of they assume it's expensive, they don't think they can afford it, they don't realise what funding's available, they don't know anyone that can help access the funding, they've been turned down by their bank, they don't think they qualify, and they don't think they need it. So everyone had a crippling headache, but nobody wants to borrow money unnecessarily, but at the same time, there's no point struggling unnecessarily. So when I see businesses who have poor cash flow that are struggling financially, yet could easily access funding or grants, for example, it really upsets me often to totally unnecessarily too. I liken it, you're sort of turning down pain relief, which I do a lot when you've got a splitting headache, or better still, trying to swim against a strong current or working when you've only had 2 hours sleep. So don't let your clients suffer. So how can I help? First things first, I want to let you know some of the more common finance options available to businesses, as this will help you understand more about what I do. After that, I'll give you some top tips on what to look out for and some really helpful ways in which you can support your clients, take away some of their financial pressures, or add real value to those who are looking to grow and expand their businesses. So what are the most common funding solutions used by businesses that can help bookkeepers to add their value to their clients? So you've got commercial mortgages. This type of funding is often used by the commercial premises to either operate from or rent out, or even both. Your clients can use this facility to buy their rented premises. Invoice finance, which is probably something you're all fully aware of, and this type of funding is raised against invoices by the business. The facility assists the cash flow, allowing funds to be realised before the invoice is payable. Asset finance, this is used to support the business growth by spreading the cost of purchases, assets across a period of time to support and improve cash flow in the business. Grant funding. So there's a lot of grant funding available for local businesses and business owners and entrepreneurs. I will provide full grant finding application service. Most of the time they can access this self without my help, but I will guide them. But you know, it's something that is better for them to access themselves, because then it doesn't cost them anything. Unsecured lending, available to support trading businesses for almost any purposes. Examples include working capital, asset purchases and training costs. And then you've got property finance, funding to help business owners and entrepreneurs purchase investment properties and cover any short-term capital needs, includes bridging loans. So we do offer a full range of solutions, but these are just some of the ones that you're likely to benefit and your clients. So things what you can look out for. So those clients that suffer from a poor cash flow, clients with unpaid invoices, clients who offer a long-term payment credit, who offer their clients long-term payment credit, clients who are looking to expand, recruit or grow, clients who want to acquire their own premises or other businesses, clients that need to purchase equipment, vehicles or machinery, clients who need to raise capital for any reason, and clients who are looking to restructure or pay off any debts, clients who are looking to develop new products or services, clients who want to promote, market or advertise themselves. And I'll send this, you'll probably have access to these slides anyway, so you'll be able to see all that. But if you have any clients that think you fall into these categories, think about how funding might help relieve some of that burden or help them achieve these goals, and I'll be more than happy to see if I can help in any way. And like I say, some of these can even be achieved through your free local grants. So,
can you send these slides to Sam?
Yeah.
And then Sam can circulate them.
Yeah, because then you can sort of see what sort of things you can look out for and what I do, because probably at the end of this you'll all be forgotten anyway.
No, I don't think we'll have forgotten all of it.
Right, so why trust? Why? Oh, gone a bit further there. So it is a big thing to refer your clients over to somebody you barely know. But if it helps, there's a three reasons why you should trust me. So at B2B Finance or myself, mainly, we have experts in business funding and cash flow solutions. We focus on building long-term relationships and strong trust. It's a mouthful. We help your clients access the funding they need to succeed. And we're focused on adding value for you and helping your clients make the most successful, which reflects well on you. We can help you gain a competitive edge and add real value to your proposition by solving many of your clients' major problems through offering them access to vital funding solutions. Most importantly, we'll help your clients navigate the potentially complicated world of business finance and funding. And on a personal note, I am genuinely passionate about helping businesses and people, and it's not good to see people struggling unnecessarily when the help is there and the availability, especially grants. And that's it for me. So yeah, if you've got any questions.
Lovely. Can you just access national grants, or can you do local as well?
So with the grants, realistically, as I said, we can get grants with it'll be more guidance, because right. When it comes to a grant, what you do is you've got commercial brokers, and because they don't get paid on the back of grants, they will charge. I see the bigger picture. So for me, I will always, if someone comes to me and asks me, my first port of call, if it's available, is grants, because that's free for them. So I'll give them guidance on it, and if they want that help, I will. But generally, it's just a matter of pointing them in the right direction, giving that guidance, and then they can access it themselves.
Right, brilliant. Thank you. I've got nothing coming in the chat, Jo. So I'm going to say thank you very much.
No, you're welcome.
Yeah. Sam's going to get the chart. The charts will be posted online along with the catch-up video. Okay. So yeah, we'll put them up there. And yeah,
thank you.
Thank you for coming this morning, and thank you. That was very informative.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Well, don't go anywhere. You can stay if you want.
No, yeah, I'll stay.
Yeah, stay. Just to catch up on the chat, Sam put in the link for Sarah and Tom's Just Giving page. So it's justgiving.com /crowdfunding/IAB-charity. So if you'd like to donate, please do. And then secondly, moving on, Jane Culshaw. Where are you, Jane? Are you here?
I'm here, Caroline. Hi.
Are you there? Excellent. I just tried to search.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Good morning. So this is Jane.
Good morning.
Who is HMRC's counter-avoidance engagement lead. And she was recommended by Kerry after she attended an event where Jane was presenting and thought the content would be of value to the IAB members. And this morning, she is here to discuss awareness of disguised remuneration schemes. Hopefully, members will gain awareness of avoidance schemes and ask them to cascade all the educational messages down. So, good morning, Jane. Do you wish to share your screen?
Good morning. I do. I shall give me a minute or two to do that, or hopefully not quite a minute.
While you're doing that, I'm just going to say one of our members, Rachel's, got COVID. So, but is here today. So I hope you get well soon, Rachel. And I can see your screen, Jane.
Get well soon, Rachel. That's fantastic. And I've written down some of your notes about September, the pizza and the fitness day particularly, which I'm sure I will use in my team meeting that I'm having later today.
Yeah.
I prefer the pizza one, I have to say.
Are you going to treat them all to pizza?
One, but really good.
Are you going to treat them to pizza, or are you just going to sit at
It's virtual, so if only I could, if only I was there in person, of course I would.
Yeah, that's how I feel about this
okay.
coffee morning.
So, so as Caroline said, I'm the engagement lead for counter-avoidance, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the most common form of mass market avoidance schemes that we see in the market at the moment. And the aim of this is really to raise awareness about them, to give you some signs as to spot them, to tell you the kind of thing that HMRC is doing to try to stop them and counter them. And also as a request for you, can you please spread the message? Because we want to try and stop these schemes in many different ways. One is going to be educate people, tell people about them so that they can choose not to go in for them, which we hope will shrink the market for those people who are selling them. But also just as well as all of the compliance work that we're doing and looking at new legislations to try and help us stop promoters as well. So that's what I'm going to do. So the first bit is to watch out for umbrella schemes. The main part that we see in these schemes that is the non-compliant part, or is the part where the avoidance takes place, is umbrella companies. There are many umbrella companies that are compliant and are fine and help the people that work through them. As I'm sure you all know, they can help people deal with multiple clients, multiple places of work. They can help people pay their tax correctly. And when it works well, it's good. But what we are concentrating on is the smaller number of non-compliant umbrella companies.
Can I just interject, Jane? Because Sean's putting,
course.
I don't normally do this. I normally put people put in the chat, and then at the end we do the questions. But because it's specific to an umbrella company, I'm going to. I know of an umbrella company that pays workers rolled up holiday pay, making them think their rate of pay is higher. Is this something that can be reported, and if so, how? Is that a reportable offence, though?
It might be, but without me knowing the details behind how they do that, it's difficult for me to know. So they roll up the money and make them think that they're getting a higher rate.
Yeah, it's where you pay
than they usually get.
Yeah, you pay 12% on top of the hourly pay, don't you? And then they're not entitled to holidays because you've paid it. National minimum wage plus 12.07%.
National minimum wage, yeah. That would be a slightly different line to what I work in, but absolutely, if the person who's put the comment is happy to either through you or directly to me, drop me an email about that. But I would ask, don't include any of the specific details. I'll be able to get an idea of where best I can put that person and make sure that he can speak to somebody who can look at it as compliance. I often work with fraud. I work with national minimum wage a lot as well.
Yep, he says thank you.
Just the bare bones, the details without any names, brilliant. And I will absolutely make sure that he can get that message through. No problem.
Right. Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Sean. No problem. So as I'm sure you're all aware, there's a difference between tax avoidance and fraud. So tax avoidance is still civil, whereas fraud is more on the criminal side of things. Tax avoidance is essentially bending the tax rules to gain a tax advantage that Parliament never intended. And as I've already said, it's sometimes operated by non-compliant umbrella companies. And that's the kind that we're going to focus on today. So this is a very high level overview of how this kind of avoidance tends to work. You have the employer Now, the employer can be a wide range of different kinds of employers. We see this kind of avoidance operating across the board in all sectors. We know that the employers can be anything from the NHS to a large private company or a small business. The employer wants to engage a worker under a contract or contractor. So temporary, usually to fill a space that they have. They'll look to the agency to get that worker. The agency will then look for the worker who's come to their agency to get a place, to get a position, to get some work. And it can either be the worker that decides to use an umbrella company for all of the positive reasons that I've already said. They can help them with the tax, and they will technically in this situation be employed by the umbrella company. And the umbrella company will then provide the workers' services via the agency to the employer. But at the end of the day, this is a contractor who's doing some work for the end client, the employer, but it just goes through that chain of contracts. Okay. When we have a compliant umbrella company, the umbrella company works as an employer, as I said, and takes the tax, the PAYE and NICs, directly from the salary that's paid from the agency to the umbrella company and pays that over to HMRC. So the worker knows that their PAYE and NICs has been paid over, or their income tax has been paid over. In this example, they may earn 4,000 a month, and the umbrella may deduct 100,000. That's slightly higher than our usual typical tax rates. £1,000 from that to pay over to HMRC. When it works like that, that's fine. And as I said, there are lots of umbrellas. Do is they offer the worker a deal where they can end up with more money in their take-home pay. And I will say probably quite a few times during this presentation, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. So for this particular non-compliant umbrella company, instead of taking the tax and the NICs or deducting the tax and the NICs from the whole of the salary that the person is paid, they will deduct tax and NICs from a small proportion of it. This example shows £1,000, for example. They'll deduct £200, for example, tax and NICs, pay that over to HMRC. And then they will say that they are paying the rest of the worker's salary as a loan. And the reason they're saying they're paying it as a loan, they're describing it as a loan, is because it then does not fall within income tax in the same way that your salary would. So they're saying that this loan will be untaxed. It's also very unlikely that this loan will be collected or will be repaid. And this is the reason why we call these types of schemes disguised remuneration schemes. Because from HMRC's point of view, this is not a loan. This is tax. This is income that should be taxed accordingly. So that's a broad outline of how the schemes work. Loans are by far the most common form that these schemes work. But we've also seen all of these other types of ways that they choose to describe or disguise the remuneration. Now, some of them may look like they can be taxed automatically anyway, but they often slightly complicated schemes that underlie the simple idea that you're being paid something that won't go through the tax system in the same way. But essentially, they all work the same way. Your salary will be split up and we will take the tax out of a part of it, and then we will pay the other part of it over to you in a way that does not need it to be paid, not need to have income tax taken from it. That's what they'll say. Obviously, HMRC do not agree with that. So what are we doing to challenge these schemes? We've brought in anti-avoidance legislation to look at taxing the loan. And we're also taking cases to court and we win the vast majority of the cases that we take to court or tribunal to challenge these schemes. What is the result on this? Largely, the result ends up with the individual contractor being responsible for, because everybody ultimately is responsible for their tax, ending up with a larger perhaps than expected, perhaps not expected tax bill when HMRC catches up with them and points out to them that it's our view that the loans that you've received over the last few months, over the last year, whilst you've been working in this way, should be taxed. And so we will claim that tax back from the individual largely. If we can go to the employer, the umbrella, we will do. But in lots of circumstances, we can't, because a lot of these umbrellas are based offshore, and that makes it difficult for us to recoup the money. Or the employers, the umbrella companies appear and disappear very quickly, and they might be around for a year. But as I said, if we can get it from there, we will. The particular anti-avoidance legislation that puts taxes on the loans enables us to recoup the tax money from the individual. So they'll have that tax bill and they'll have interest as well, which accrues too. It's our view that these schemes do not work, and most tax avoidance schemes do not work. So what else are we doing apart from looking and making compliance checks into individual contractors who are involved in these? We're also, as I said, looking to try to stop the people who are promoting these schemes, who are starting these schemes. We have legislation that was brought in a year or 2 years ago called the enabler's penalty. And that means anybody within the supply chain of a particular scheme that enables a person, an individual, or a business or whatever to become part or use any of these types of schemes can receive a penalty up to 100% of any of the fees that they receive or will be receivable by the person who's helping them use these schemes. And I should have said that when I was showing you the slides as well, is that we have to remember that these umbrella companies take a small fee from the people using them. That's how they make their money. In order to impose the enabler's penalty, though, we have to show that it is an abusive tax avoidance scheme arrangement. So we have to show that it does work typically in those ways that I've just explained, and that it is aimed to reduce the tax that's paid. And we have to have defeated it by HMRC. And defeated can mean that we've gone to tribunal and we've won the case there, or that we have agreed settlements with the parties involved and they've agreed that the scheme does not work. We are also now naming promoters of these schemes. And there's a page, and I'll give you links to the page as well as all of the other information I've got on there. And this, obviously, we're HMRC, we're a public body. There are certain hurdles and criteria that we have to meet in order to be able to name a promoter. But as soon as we can, we name the people or the names of the schemes and the promoters behind the schemes on a page. And we are updating that constantly with new names of schemes. So one of our pieces of advice, and I ask of you, would be to let people know that this page exists. So if anybody's thinking about using an umbrella company, that could be one place you could start. Go and look on there. If your umbrella company that either you've been suggested to use or has promised you something that looks a little bit too good to be true, is it named on HMRC's pages? Then maybe, you know, don't use it. The choice ultimately is you, but our advice is don't use it, because we know that this is a tax avoidance scheme and we'll be looking at people who use these schemes. Another thing that we're trying to encourage, apart from the individual's choice of the umbrella scheme that they use, is we go out, as I said, to public bodies, to big businesses, to everybody and anybody. I always say I'm available for weddings and bar mitzvahs or whatever. I will talk to anybody who will listen to get this message across, because I worked on the operational side for many years investigating these schemes. I know there's a big mix of people. There are people who maybe don't have the time to check everything, or even perhaps the knowledge. There's people who may be not advised well, but there are also people who know exactly what they're doing, and they know that if they get a loan from a company that may be based in Guernsey that should actually be part of their salary, you'd hope that that would raise alarm bells. Some people don't go that far at looking at it. So what we also ask businesses or advisors to do is there any due diligence that you can do to carry out before you can advise someone to use an umbrella company, or businesses before they accept the contractor? What can you do to look at it to make sure that you're not employing or taking a contractor on that has become involved in one of these schemes? Sometimes it's not enough just to go one step along the supply chain. You may have to look at what is behind the agency. So there may be work or conversations that you can have if there's an agency involved. What are they doing? Have they recommended the umbrella? Is the umbrella okay? And it's just to think about looking one step beyond your usual first part of the supply chain that goes into you. Things that you can consider, as I said, is the umbrella company offshore? Many of them are. Can you look and see if the umbrella company has in fact offered PAY or operated PAYE correctly? Is there any other further checks you can think of doing, or authorizations you can think of doing before subcontracting to a third party? And also, you people can probably provide some advice, and also you can look for further advice if you want to look further deeper into, the umbrella company. We have quite a lot of due diligence guidance. I think it's quite accessible. There's a link there to the further guidance, and it's particularly for businesses using umbrella companies or who may be operating schemes. So you can have a look at the kind of checks that you can do in place before you take on board a contractor, or indeed maybe when you're advising one. So these are the things that we want to do as well. Those are the things that HMRC is looking to do to counter it, as well as inquiries into individuals to see how their remuneration arrangements are set up. But what we really want to do, and our big ask from you, is please help us get this message out. We want people who are using umbrella companies to be able to make the right choice about which umbrella company they use, or at least make an informed choice about which umbrella company they use. And I will let you know the links, and I'm sure through Caroline we can provide you the links. You can have the slides or whatever. There's quite a few articles on gov.uk helping you spot signs of avoidance, and there's lots of helpful information on that. We have one comms campaign pages called Tax Avoidance Don't Get Caught Out, which you can Google, but again I'll include links to this. In this page, you can have a look at what is tax avoidance. You can go through the link to give you advice on how you can steer clear of it. If you find out or suspect or think that you or somebody you're advising or whatever may be involved in it, it can give you help on how you can get out and how you can come and talk to HMRC to resolve the situation. And then again, if you do suspect or have knowledge of a tax avoidance scheme that you want to report, it gives you access to do that as well. On these pages, there will be links to things that you can look at, things that individuals can look at that might be red flags to highlight that they may be involved in this type of scheme. So if it looks too good to be true, it almost certainly is too good to be true. Something to think about. Umbrella companies often advertise. If you Google what umbrella company can I use, if you want to use one, or if you've been advised by an agency to use one, they will often advise, come and use us, you'll end up with more money. Come and use us, you'll end up with an enhanced scheme. And these are things to look for. So you can look for A scheme that allows you to keep more of your income than you would expect. Some or all of the payments you get are said to be non-taxable. The scheme is approved by HMRC, and do watch out for that because HMRC does not approve schemes. And we've done quite a bit of work from, sorry, I'm getting a bit of background noise. Sorry. We've done quite a
I'm
bit of
looking to see where that's coming from. I don't know.
work.
I think it's Melanie.
Yeah, I've done it. Found her. Thanks, Sam.
There we go.
Sorry,
Brilliant.
Jane.
Thank you. Thank you for that problem. We're trying to sort of look at where we can work with the Advertising Standards Authority to stop people saying that we approve schemes where we can. Another one is only part of the total payments you received are taxed as income. Being offered, as I said, an enhanced scheme. What exactly does that mean? Being asked to sign more than one contract. If you can't see how your income will be paid, sometimes they pay it in 2 different payments. Or you can be offered a cash bonus for referring a friend. They're not the only ones, but those are all of the key ones that could sort of make you think about, just things to think about before you sign up for an umbrella. This is a slide that I've put together, which includes stock paragraphs and key links, saying that we want to help contractors. As I've said, this is the real sort of mission behind these education materials, which we're trying to get across to everybody. Have a look at the Don't Get Caught Out tax avoidance campaign. I hope it's easy and accessible and easy to read, and easier to have a look at and get some help from. You can take these paragraphs, paste them, copy them, forward on the links in them to just get the message across. So we have a link there in the first paragraph to the Tax Avoidance Don't Get Caught Out campaign page. We've also done 2 videos. These 2 videos, one is of a nurse and one is of an IT contractor. The link I've included in that one is an IT contractor, just because I thought this one perhaps would be more relevant to this particular audience. But both of them will be linked in here. And what it is the real true life stories, though the names have been changed and actors are playing the parts. The videos are only 90 seconds long, but it does give you a feel of how these people felt when they found out they were caught up in an avoidance scheme. Again, there's the link to the naming pages where we're naming of tax avoidance schemes and their promoters. And also, there's a bit more information on the signs to spot of a tax avoidance with the ones that I just went over in the previous slide, but with a little bit more information. So you can just click on those links and they'll take you to those pages. Okay, there's the clips and the links to Duncan's story. And fingers crossed, I'm going to hopefully play Duncan's story to you now, if all the video works. I have checked it previously, but I know sometimes the connections are not always great. It's only 90 seconds long. Here we go. Do shout if you can hear it, and then I'm open to questions. It's coming, as I said, for some reason it takes a little. Can you hear it okay?
When I started working as an IT contractor,
yeah, I can hear it fine.
Okay, apologise for the buffering.
I thought I'd use an umbrella company to manage my payroll. I did an online search for umbrella companies and came across a comparison website. I just chose one of them. They got me set up and that was it. I had a couple of sleepless nights at the start. That was really the worst part. I spoke to someone at HMRC and that settled things down. Fortunately, I hadn't spent all my money and had saved some of it. There was a painful tax bill, but by that point I knew it was coming, so I'd been able to prepare for it.
Okay, it worked. Success. As I said, it's just short, but hopefully if people can share that, it might just make people think about what they're doing, the consequences of who you sign up for, just to make you more aware. I'm going to have to get this to change to X or whatever on earth Mustn's calling it nowadays. But these are all the links where HMRC puts information. We often, we always, I should say, publish information when we're naming a new promoter. And I'm happy, Caroline or Samantha, to link you up with an email that we send round, and we are increasing our list of this. And every time we name a new person, whether we are doing a stop or an enabler penalty or a promoter's being named, we'll send you an email and you can retweet that or use that on your sites if you think that will be helpful. We do that with lots of people. Great.
That'd be great if you could send that to Sam. I'm going to nominate Sam to receive that. Can you send her the slides as well, please, Jane? And then someone will pin them up alongside the video so everyone can see them.
I think I have already, but I will send them again.
I've got them, Jane. That's great. Don't worry. Thanks, Caroline. And
Brilliant.
I'll just, if we just liaise with that email address, Jane, I can then make sure it's posted out to everybody.
Sorry, my email.
Yeah, the email address that you just mentioned there in terms of helping people.
Helping people get out?
Yeah. No, did you not just, you just suggested a contact there for everybody in case they wanted to get any more information.
Okay, it's a link to an information page rather than an email.
Oh, right, okay,
but there's an email within the information page, but
Fine. Okay.
I can send you all of those links so you can paste them straight on. That would be great. Thank you.
That's fine.
This is just a little plug for HMRC app, which my colleagues have asked me to tag on the end. If anybody wants to sign up for it, please go ahead. Please don't ask me too many questions about it because I don't know, but if you do have questions, I'm happy to take it away and get you some answers. And that is all from me. If there are any questions, I can't see the chat. So if
Eve was just
Sam could help me with any questions, that would be great.
Eve has clarified what you said at the beginning, that tax avoidance is that tax avoidance and tax evasion is different, and not all tax avoidance is illegal, whereas tax evasion always is. And then we've had quite a few thank yous coming in. And then another problem with these schemes is when the contractors come to get mortgages, as brokers, we are trained to spot these things, and those that don't spot them, the lender will then spot them. There's no mortgage available. So Sean, are we okay to use the point?
Absolutely right, and that is a great point.
Yeah, that's from Joe.
Thank you for that, whoever put that. That is something that we'd absolutely brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah, because you then can't get a mortgage, can you?
If people can start understanding that. Yeah, because most of your salary that you use to get your mortgage is actually technically, if you accept that you're getting a loan.
Yeah.
So really good. Thank you that people are looking at that. Great. Sorry, Caroline.
Sean's asked,
I'll temper my enthusiasm, but I'm really grateful that people have spotted that. That's brilliant.
Sean's asked, are we okay to use the points on the Gov website, the signs to spot without copyright issues? I think he means, can he copy and paste it onto his own?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And I would say, please do that. And thank you for doing that.
Yeah. And then, he's put, thank you. So, and then just a lot of thank yous. So thank you very much for that, Jane. It was very informative. And
brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So, so thank you to both our speakers this morning. And now I'm going to go over to Sam. And I'm going to go to Kerry first for HMRC updates. Where are you, Kerry? Because I don't think Sarah's not doing it this morning, though she is on the meeting.
I'm here.
Kerry, good morning. Are you well?
Yes, fine, thank you. I'm not really going to go through the updates because Jane has given us a lot of information. So I met Jane at one of the forums that I'm on. So thank you, Jane, for joining us today and coming along.
Thank you for inviting me. Nice to see you.
Thank you. What I am going to do is just raise awareness just in this a few minutes that HMRC have an agent forum service. It's like an online community for a lot of agents that may not know that this information is available and accessible, me included up until fairly recently, if I'm honest. So can I share my screen actually, Caroline, just so I can show you how to register?
Yes, you can. You should be able to try it.
Okay, let's have a look and let me know if you can see this document. Can you see this?
I can, yes.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so on the HMRC Gov page, there is this community site, which some of you may already be familiar with. So the link is here, which we'll also share in the chat, and also this page, perhaps Sam can distribute as well. Now, this page itself is immediately available as read-only, so you can view it. You don't contribute to it, but you can at least have access to this, which has all it's a forum, so if anyone's got any questions or there's a topical something topical, people might just put on a sort of how do you do this, and then there may be a range of people in all kinds. It could be agents, employers, employees, individuals that all just mention information on there, and HMRC moderators also look at this as well. However, when you register for it, you can also, if you are a practice and you are, you can then register to say that you want the agent forum. So when you register, you have to put in the professional body, so the IAB, your membership number, and then you will be you'll receive an email from HMRC to say that you've been accepted onto the agent forum, which is then a lot more specific. It's only agents that have access, and again, you can see the current topics things that have been shared that day or historical. So if there is something that you're just not sure about, you can lock in here and have a look and see if it's something that a lot of people share the same views, and then there are ideas as to where you can go for further information. So this is what you need to do as a first point of call, and then follow the registration procedure, which I have here. Now, I'm just trying to see if I can scroll down. So I'll send you this. This is like a step-by-step as to how you actually access this forum, but I've found this really useful recently. And HMRC moderators also go on here to give links as to where to go for further information. So, did anyone, I don't know if anyone's aware of this. Caroline, are you aware of this forum?
No, I wasn't, but I've made a note and I'm going to go to there after this Zoom meeting this morning, I think.
Yeah, I think it's actually been in place for
signed up.
some time, but I'll send you this because it tells you step by step exactly how to register, which is really, really useful. And then going on, you sign in. So as I say, you have access to view things or the main community page without logging in, but it's this agent forums access that you need to specifically register for, so that you've got a little bit of more guidance.
Look, HMRC stopped working.
Yeah, well, they already know there's a little bit of glitch, and so you will, and I have received this error message when logging in. So there's a little fix that they've put in as a temporary workaround as well. So they are aware that you may get this, and then the fix at the moment until this is resolved. So I'll share this around. And yeah, that's really it for me. I'll also put the link in the chat about the August employer bulletin. I think we've spoken before about people having access, sorry, let me stop sharing, about people having access to HMRC updates and registering for the updates by email. The bulletins come out 6 times a year. The August one was updated on the 15th of September. So it's really important to have a look at that, at all the current topics, and there's the section about the umbrella schemes in there at the moment as well.
Yeah, and Sean's tried to go on and it's greyed out at the moment.
Oh, okay.
It's
Any
not
technical stuff, maybe that's not my part, but
Maybe get back to it tomorrow. Maybe try it tomorrow, because it's not working today. Thanks for that, Sean. Yeah, thank you,
I can
Kerry.
only apologise, and that I can't fix it either, but I'm sure they'll be trying to get it back on as quickly as possible.
It'll probably work in an hour.
Yeah, I did have actually that grey recapture thing. So I did the press that you can get the audio one underneath it, and then that seemed to work for me. And also I found that using Chrome versus Edge, different browsers sometimes work better.
Right, we'll try that then.
But yeah, so that's all it for me there, and I will put the link in the chat for the employer bulletin, just so that if people have an opportunity to have a read through, that's always really good information. Right, that's going in now. But you can
great. And then I can read it out. That'd be lovely.
Well, you can just Google the Gov UK employer bulletins, and they're all there for the public view.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. Thank you, Kerry. We've got a couple of minutes left, so I'm just going to go to Sam, because Sam was at Accountex in Manchester, where we quickly mentioned it earlier. How was it, Sam? I know a couple of the ambassadors messaged me to say thank you to the members for coming.
Yes, well, we had joining us on the stand was Mohammed, Jennifer and Joyce. So it was great to have them involved. And I think it's great for, prospective members to talk to a member and a fellow ambassador, because the ambassador scheme is it's quite unique and one which, the type of thing that people are very, very interested about in terms of a support network. So it was great to talk to lots of different people, and also kind of like some prospective partners from a software perspective, and lots of other developments going on in the marketplace. It's quite a different vibe to the London show, which is vast and just generally massive for those that you have
very big.
seen. It is very, very big, but it's still nice. And, the fact that it is a little bit smaller makes it a little bit less overfacing to get round. So I think there's still all the key people there for everyone to go and see, key providers. And there was also a lot of people that didn't necessarily have a stand. So people like Pixie and Fathom, who were fellow member benefits, they were there, but kind of necessarily didn't have a stand. They just kept kind of popping up places. So they also
because they had quite big stands in London, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. But I think it was the first time
Pixie.
they'd really been to Manchester. So I think that'll probably change next year, because I think they'll get involved.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you very much. Good. And we're just before 12, so there's nothing else to say this morning. Oh,
sorry, I'm just going to butt in. Sorry, hello everyone.
Good morning, Sarah.
I've been on
Are you
call
well?
with our inspectors, so all very useful. There's just one point I just want to flag as well, just a technical point regarding SARs. So the NZA have got a new portal to be accessed. So that was launched on Monday, so 2 days ago. So if you are wanting to submit a SAR, the old platform will go very shortly, and you are encouraged to use a new platform. However, there is a new registration process, so it isn't just being migrated across. So please go on that new portal. And we've sent some communication out about that as well, so don't ignore it. That's just a flag.
Yeah. One more thing, Caroline, as well. We've got. Do you remember the person we had on who you scared us all about our passwords and to go out and immediately change everything?
I do, yes.
Francis.
All my passwords were changed.
Well, he now hosts a live cybersecurity session on LinkedIn, and it's the first Thursday of every month, and it's usually at 11 o'clock. So you can go on and find him. I'll try and get a link and put it on the.
Can you just remind me of his name?
Francis West.
Francis West.
Yeah.
Right. I'll have a look on LinkedIn, see if I can find him.
Yeah, so he's running those, and he said, all our members are welcome, and even any of their clients, if anybody's worried about anything like that. So it's open to everybody. So good thing to be aware of as we're getting more digital.
Good. Thank you very much. I'm glad you two jumped in at the end. The dying minutes. So yeah, and then just a lot of thank yous in the chat. Suzanne, this has been my first coffee morning. So welcome, Suzanne. Hopefully we'll see you next month. And next month's coffee morning is the 18th of October. And at that, if everybody's okay, I'm going to say goodbye.
Okay, thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.